heard of the museum. Tonight, we are having a haunt at the museum. We are Life After Death Paranormal Investigations, and we are investigating the Texas Through Time Prehistoric Museum. Please enjoy this investigation.
The building that we are investigating tonight is the Texas Through Time Museum, which displays and educates people about the prehistoric era.
Today, you can still enjoy its history with the original tiling and this unique Texas mural, which was made by Fred Grimes Jr.
In 1914, Mr. Grimes purchased this property, which was a livery stable until it was destroyed by a fire in 1917. Grimes Garage became one of the largest full-service stations in the world. In 1965, Fred O. Grimes closed the doors of Grimes Garage. Fred O. Grimes died on October 15, 1972, at the age of 87.
Hi, I'm Kim.
Hi, Kim. I'm Noah.
Nice to meet you. What do you do here at Texas Through Time?
So I do everything from public relations. I talk to the guests. I make sure all of the guests have an awesome opportunity to learn and to enjoy themselves. I manage a lot of the volunteers here at Texas Through Time. I do everything from digging to preparing fossils. So I kind of wear many different hats.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
I do believe in the paranormal. I grew up in a very religious and conservative household.
And what experiences have you had here in this building?
So there's a handful of times, for example, because I work for the museum, I'll do some digs, but then I have to come back and I have to manage things. I have to, continue working in the lab while the main crew is out on the field. And so I'll be completely alone in the lab. And then there's been many a times I'll have my earbuds plugged in and, my goggles on and I'm watching the front, but I'll see something out of the corner of my eye many a times. I felt some people tap me on the shoulder when nobody's in the, nobody's in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a flying rock or something else, but, it does kind of give me that sort of like...
Makes you feel uneasy or...
It does. And I've worked here for years, and so I, feel comfortable in the building, but I've always felt like there's just been, something else. Of course, the telltale for everybody is that we hear running late at night through the attic. I know it's an old building, can be creaky, but there have been times where it's run right up to where I'm at, and then stopped.
When you say you see something out of the corner of your eye, is it like a shadow or...
Absolutely, like a shadow or like a movement or, it looked like the light shifted at some point, and I'm like, I have to re-establish my surroundings before I plug back in to make sure nobody's actually in here.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kim. I'm with Life After Death Paranormal.
I'm Abby.
Abby, what is your role here in the museum?
I'm the assistant lab manager for paleotax and then volunteering with the museum.
How long have you worked here?
Since about November of 2021.
Okay. Have you ever experienced any paranormal here in the museum?
Nothing too crazy. Definitely heard some creaking and maybe what sounds like footsteps, but not really often at all.
Whereabouts in the building have you heard like the footsteps sound?
Coming from the roof.
The roof?
But, yeah, from the ceiling.
How often does it happen when you're here?
I've really only noticed it when I've slept over here, and even then it hasn't been too often.
Okay.
Would you mind telling us what you've experienced up here at the Texas Through Time Museum?
Well, we do a lot of traveling across the country, and sometimes that means leaving very early in the morning. So on one of those trips, I decided to stay here. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning when I was asleep on this couch and just had this sensation that I was being tickled, and it happens at home. My kids will find me napping somewhere and they'll poke me or mess with me. So it was really intense to the point where I actually woke up from a dead sleep and sat up and said, "Stop!" But I was alone in the museum, and it was dark, and the building was locked, and I was like, okay, that was... I've never had an experience like that in my life where I was asleep and had a physical reaction to something beyond a dream and woke up, because of it. So it was a pretty unique experience. I mean, my skin was crawling, it was prickly. I was kind of freaked out, but I've never been like afraid of paranormal stuff. Like it can harm me or anything like that. I think I just haven't. But at that point I was like, okay, I've never experienced a physical interaction with something that I couldn't explain. And I've had intense dreams, we all have, but this was certainly different. And I consider myself a very open-minded scientist. and I still don't have an explanation for what happened.
We've received reports of people hearing running or what sounds like running in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced that yourself?
Yes. So early on, when we first started renovating this building, I lived in Red Oak, and so I would spend the night here to get things done, so I didn't have to drive back and forth, and would hear it sounded like footsteps running back and forth through the attic. And originally I thought, okay, there's a hole somewhere, we've got a raccoon or something, but it was too large to be a small animal, and we've been over the building with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, we might get a wasp in here, but we don't even have rodents, so this building's pretty secure. And then after going into the attic and looking for myself, it's impossible for a person to run across the attic because of all the joists and trusses and everything up there. Yeah, so you can see the building construction are these incredible oak trusses, right? And they got these massive lags, and then at the major joints they have these steel plates. What's really cool is either the steel company or the constructor painted on here, and it says Order Texas Carnegie Steel Company. Galbraith, I don't know if that's like Gaelic, is Vodafy or something like that, and then it says Hillsboro, Texas, but unfortunately it doesn't have a date. But we know that this construction was about 1913, 1916, somewhere in there, and those trusses continue all the way over the building. So this is all original construction here, and it's pretty incredible. These are 40-foot wood trusses, and you don't see construction like this really anywhere anymore. So very, very well built building, but also the rest of the ceiling in the museum is not decked. So if you were to step on that plywood, you would fall straight through.
Yeah.
So please avoid going out over this anywhere.
Definitely. Very thin.
Yeah. Well, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see down to the museum floor there.
Yeah. So that'd be a good thing to watch for lights. People up here with the flashlights shining through the ceiling,
Yeah.
causing reflections downstairs too. You mean be the bait, is what you mean. I get it. I get it.
Casey's coming to say hi to you guys.
Casey, for my EVP, I am climbing up into the attic, and I'm sticking my EVP up there first.
Can you knock 3 times, like this?
Are you a child?
Flapping the, well, hopefully this shit.
Just cars.
Other than that, no talking or anything like that, especially in the attic.
Nope.
The second room.
Oh, give me 1 second. Oh.
The second room.
Oh, give me 1 second. Oh.
That is walking.
You don't go nowhere. Let me get my EVP. I'm gonna kick your gun. Something.
Like something walking on a roof.
You know where you can't walk?
There's like.
And there's no tin to make a big bang, right?
Well, no, it's all rolled roofing, but you know back there when you look back where we can't walk, just steadily like something moving around back there.
And it sounded like that you walked into the front door.
That's why we asked if you came in, because she was like, "Oh, Ronnie walked in."
We heard it there, you know, off where we can't walk, and then boom, down by the stairs.
So, y'all documented all. Did y'all let Adrian know about the walking, the second part?
Honestly, it was like shock and everything. Because it happened kind of big. It wasn't like a one little thing.
Hear that? Hey.
Yeah.
Hear that? Hey.
Yeah.
Stairs?
Are you good?
No.
Stairs?
Are you good?
No.
Were you burned? Oh shit. Were you burned? Oh shit. Were you burned? Oh shit. Scare me. Bring everything you got. I'm gonna make a knock for you. Can you finish this knock? That was for me.
Right behind behind you. No, it's behind you on that metal.
I'm gonna make a knock for you. Can you finish this knock? That was for me.
Do you know the man who used to own this building? Do you know the man who used to own this building? Do you know the man who used to own this building?
Here, let's look into this. Set it right here.
I'm also going to be having mine here as well, and it's a little closer. If you want to come closer to us. Ooh. All right, ready? And we're going to announce ourselves once I start mine. This is Sarah,
Layla. Kim.
Casey.
Casey Movin. Well,
It is.
Kim's, and we're going to announce ourselves once I start mine. This is Sarah,
Layla. Kim.
Casey.
So,
Yeah, you are.
ready?
Yeah, it's already recording. We can edit
So,
later.
we thank y'all
Oh,
for
you're
allowing
fine.
us to come in here and investigate. So what we're going to do today is going to go ahead and provide you with the binder with all the evidence and our reports and history and more details about the building as well. And then we're going to start reviewing your evidence, alright? So in here, we can go ahead and show y'all. Now we're going to get a flash drive that has all the equipment, all of our videos on there. So we didn't put the EVP files on there since everything that we're going to show you was caught on video. But I'm going to attach y'all to our drive so y'all can have access to literally everything. You can also see what we commented on and how we reviewed and debunked things as well. So in this binder, you're going to find history. We were able to get the article from the reporter here, and he sent us the article on Grimes Garage as well. We also found that when he passed away, his death was also posted in the New York Times as well.
What?
Because he was really well known. So
Absolutely.
found a little snippet here. We tried getting it zoomed in more. We weren't able to do that, but I have the resources posted in the back.
We also found out that like when he advertised his business, he would send advertisement boards and stuff, even with soldiers who were going to
Overseas.
war,
Yes.
overseas.
And he carved Grimes Garage into one of the rocks at Pikes Peak in Colorado.
Yeah.
We found a lot of history on him as well. We also got prints of it being annexed into the historical district. I think it was in '84 as well. So right here, we found more pictures of the Grimes Garage when it was functioning.
That's my. No, that's not my truck.
So we also located the gravesite at Ridge Park Cemetery. So we went out there, took pictures, and my wife and Layla actually spoke with, I believe it's the grandson.
His grandson, he still lives at the mansion.
So staying at the mansion now. So we did a lot of footwork to try and find out as much as we can on the building as well. And then we're going to go in back here. You're going to find all of our notes that we took, some notes we took, and then our work site sources and where we went, and then the reporter sending us information as well. And then there's our contact with the reporter getting that email to us. We also did a little blueprint on how we're going to stage everything at the location, on where we're going to put our cameras. And then you're going to have our investigation report here. We do the weather because sometimes hauntings, they revolve around residual hauntings. The weather, moon phases, everything. It's theory that plays factor in paranormal investigation. So should you have another group come in here, they can have everything to go off of on what elements were at play when we caught our activity. And then in here you're going to find all of our investigation reports listed here. Every investigator did a report and gave a narrative of what we experienced. So some of the claims y'all had were footsteps and running through the attic.
Nick. I thought we lost him in school after that. I was like,
so
Yeah.
Listen.
I couldn't help myself.
It shook.
I couldn't help myself on that
you
one.
hear something got thrown. You hear it roll. So what I'm going to show you now.
And it shook. Like,
this is why I'm saying we need to go out there and look, because...
Did you break something?
I feel like something sounded like it got thrown. With...
Scared the heck.
Yeah, but we didn't, because we were like...
Sitting there.
kind of makes me wonder, like, why that always gets trashed when we organize it upstairs. I always think...
See, we didn't know that part.
It's always a mess and everything gets moved.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear the glass?
Yeah. Or something.
We don't...
There's no glass up there.
But do you... Wait for it. It comes. You do it again.
Come on, bang harder.
Boom. Yeah, yeah. That's it's hard to write all the notes down when you're going through all of it, so I just memorized it. Yeah. And I really wanted you to hear that.
So now let's go into...
That it's responded so much.
You talked about, being touched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here you go.
He's like...
Sounds like touch him. Like a little girl voice.
That's what I'm...
What?
Mm. Yeah.
That's very much touch 'em.
This is Sarah.
What was it? Rummaging? Or,
No. Listen, it's a female voice.
This is Sarah.
Oh,
Ready? And we're going to announce ourselves once I start. This is Sarah.
Hello. So I'll throw on the headphones.
Did you get the EVP one?
The EVP one of...
Because I had my EVP facing the darkness, and it picked up the hello, too, but it was
did?
clear, yeah.
No, I didn't get that one yet.
Oh.
It is hello?
Yeah.
Because we're saying we're going to introduce ourselves. It's like, hello.
Did you ask her what her name is?
We tried a few times.
Hello.
My turn. Hello.
So a lot of this evidence we didn't find, because we're doing our other parts of investigating. So when we do our review, this is when we find the evidence. So